Good evening everybody and welcome to Race Spec's Pacific Series Tier 4 here for round 11 at the Belgian Grand Prix circuit Spa-Francorchamps in the Belgian forests. I'm Bod Hod and I'll be your commentator this evening. I will be joined by Trikid a little bit later on, so we'll have two of us in the box for tonight, but I'll start us off here for now. We're here at what is probably one of my favourite circuits on the calendar, if not in the world, for Spa, so it should be a good race. Usually see some decent races around here, plenty of places to make passes, plenty of treachery and challenge along the way, but we'll see what these guys can do. Usually putting on a show for all of us, so looking forward to this week's race here at Belgium in the nice sunny weather here for qualifying. So we'll see what these guys can do in terms of quality laps. I believe Trikid has now joined me in the box, so we should be good to go now.
Yes, good evening viewers. Good to be back for another week of Tier 4 this week at Belgium. I'm sure you've already told everyone the ups and downs of this track. Very much a love-hate relationship for me. Yeah, it should be a really interesting race. Should be quite close.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Personally, I really enjoy it. Yeah, stunning lap around here. Plenty of fast stuff. Plenty of straights, plenty of dangerous curbs, so it's always a challenge for the drivers, but really satisfying when you can hook it up. We'll see who's on track first, and I reckon we'll ride on with the whole lap. For the whole lap, just to learn our way around the circuit. I think it's F1 Boy in the Williams, so we'll stay on board with him as he starts his lap. Almost a full grid tonight, 19 drivers, which is good to see. I think we've got one or two reserves in, but it's good to see a relatively full lobby. So looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. After what was quite a chaotic race last week, we'll see if these guys can be on a bit better behaviour, see if they can get away cleanly, but we'll stay on board with F1 Boys. He starts his lap to the final corner. I need to get power down quickly. DRS straight, but not really an overtaking zone. Heavy braking into turn 1, important to hit that apex, but really important, probably more important to get decent speed. See him lose the back end a tiny bit there, and then down towards one of the scariest but also most awesome corners in the world. Origin Radion up the hill, and we see F1 Boys gone wide and really lost it there as well. So we might ride on board with, I think it's is it a Haas behind him? No, it's not. I can't quite spot who it is. Might be a Racing Point, actually.
Into the wall and retirement for Candy Cane. Actually,
oh,
I just watched that on board. He's completely lost it through Rouge, just touched inside.
Yeah, we jump on board with P White right. Oh, you can see it on the right hand side there. So there you go, yeah. Claims its first victim. Won't be the first time we see that tonight, I don't reckon.
No, I've done actually, in fact, exactly the same move in our previous race, which brought out the safety car. So yeah, you've got to make sure you get it right through there. Tiny lapse of concentration, and you will be in the wall. But yeah, so that's Candy Cane's qualifying. It's come to a swift end, but look, hopefully he might be able to do something.
Oh, and BMAX followed him. BMAX on the wall as well there, same place. So 2 victims already. BMAX, usually a contender for a top position here, already out of qualifying with no time. We'll jump on board with his teammate, and he's in the exact same spot on the right hand side there, just caught the end of it. So 2 victims already. So there goes our lap around it. That's 2 already, so that's pretty crazy. Yeah. We'll see if people can keep it out of the fence though. We'll try and find someone who's actually on a hot lap. Everyone seems to be either binning it or zero ERS. We'll ride on board. Looks like Drow might be on a lap. He might, as he invalidates, of course he does. How about Artie? Artie's on the lap. He's coming towards the end of the second sector. So just at sector 2 split. Let's hope that he can put a lap together and we can actually stick some times on the board. 5 minutes in almost already, we've only got a couple of times on the board, so it is a long track, longest lap in terms of distance on the calendar, so we won't see as many runs as other places, but yeah, lots of people finding trouble early. As it looks like we've got a Mercedes off as well there. That is Drow. He's doing donuts in the middle of the second sector, so lots and lots of accidents already, which is interesting to see.
So have got a confirmation from an inside source that there will be no rain in the race, so it looks like another dry one. which is good because I think after last week's madness, we might want a little bit of normality in Tier 4 for this week. So yeah, we'll see how we go with the dry race. I'm seeing lots of yellow flags here. Drow still kind of going slow. Obviously we've already got 2 people out. Rare, but yeah, not everyone putting in a lap so far. Only 8 out of 19. So hopefully we see some more times on the board soon. A couple of people on meetings as well.
Yeah, we've got a few more yellows in the second sector there. That might just be a bit of traffic though. I don't see any stationary dots on the map. Turismo on his first lap coming across the line now. Goes quickest, 43 flats. That's actually a pretty good time off the bat. Mofo there with a 43 flat as well. We might pull up the standings quickly actually. Got Honest Cook in the chat. Driver, I think he's usually a one-shot quality kind of guy. So he's tuning into the stream supporting his teammate, Lunacy. He'll jump in the car and do a lap a bit later. But in terms of the championship, currently it's Macedonian leading us away by just 6 points over Mofo. And then we've got a fairly large gap, 24 points back to BMAC, and then Lunacy's just behind him as well. So Macedonia and Mofo are really close together at this point in the championship. And then you got BMAC and Lunacy nice and close as well. Both those guys had a pretty poor race last week. I remember before Hungary, those 4 were all really close together. So yeah, after last week that stretched out a bit, but still plenty of races to go. I think this is round 11 out of 19, so still plenty can happen. And you've got Ninja Penguin, Suskus, MJ, Artie Changs and Shun Matata, and then Insulator as a full-timer are the top 10 in the championship for now. But yeah, lots still can happen as we've got a couple more guys doing some laps. Currently no one has been able to top the McLaren of Shun Matata. Who's put in a good lap there. Dangerfield put in another 43 flat, so that's 3 guys all really close together, which is pretty interesting actually considering how long the lap is. It's good to see guys close together.
Yeah, obviously last week's eventful race kind of spiced the championship up a bit. Macedonian's been on a bit of a run of poor form. Obviously we saw him having a lightning start to the season, but he's on a lap now actually, so he might challenge Matata here for P1. Yeah, getting pretty close to that 143 mark already, so yeah.
He's in 0 ARS, so he may have been validated. There's no red map unless he's made a mistake. Oh, he's 2 seconds down, so it looks like he's bailed out of that. We'll look to see him put in another time though. But yeah, Macedonian after a super start, he's had a shaky couple of recent races. Kind of on pace, not just kind of bad luck as well. Didn't really have the pace at all in Britain it was, I remember. And then last week getting in a bit of trouble with all that calamity that happened. He'll pull it into the pit, so he'll have to slap on some new tyres and go again. Who else have we got possibly on a lap? Looks like Honest Cook's hit the track finally. We'll jump on board with Nickman maybe in the second sector in the other McLaren. So teammate in pole position for now. Let's see if the other McLaren can challenge. Artie Cheng's currently in P4 as well, which is good to see. I think he picked up the win last week in the end, didn't he? In a really clean performance from him. Yeah, so he'll be hoping to keep up that good form. Currently in P4, which is not a bad place to be starting around here. You want to be near the front or at the back to avoid the chaos. You don't really want to be anywhere near that middle because stuff happens. Turn 1, 2, 3, 4, even down into turn 5 at the end of the straight. Plenty of places for chaos to happen. So you want to be up the front or you want to be at the back, I think, around here.
I think so. Look, definitely down this main straight, kind of through a Rouge, etc. It's very much a DRS train. You can see it's there through a Rouge, but yeah, you definitely use up quite a bit of ERS, is what I've noticed around here. And if you're on the front of that kind of DRS train, or you don't have anyone in front of you, but you've got someone behind, you really are a sitting duck. Which does make it quite an exciting circuit in Belgium, but use it to make sure that you kind of stick in contention with someone 1 second in front.
Yeah, with it being such a high speed track, yeah, it is difficult to break the 1 second. Not many places where you really can gain a lot of time on other people. That second sector, without, the second sector is a bit of a factor for dirty air, so you could be able to get away there. Then the third sector with those straights there, not DRS areas, so there are chances if you can hook together a couple of laps, but through the end of the third sector and the first sector is really hard to break away. So staying within a second if you're behind someone is important, and yeah, person at the front's going to be burning a lot of ERS to do that. It is quite difficult to save because of that really high throttle input requirement to keep the pace up. So yeah, it will be a challenging race in terms of managing that. That will be a factor and could be deciding. It looks like Insulator's parked at the end of turn 1 for some reason. Not sure if he's getting out of the way of someone or not, but he's just chilling out. He's probably got to be careful not to get disqualified actually. He might want to get a wriggle on.
Yeah, I think that actually happened to, who was it? Oh, as Drow retired in session now.
That's
so
in the second sector.
Down in turn.
Oh yeah, on board with Mofo,
Yeah.
there's a lot of damage on the track there. A lot of,
I briefly saw that on board. He went off and just completely binned it into the outside wall. But
and Abella's put it in the wall right there as well. Speaking of, I'm not sure why Abella's in the session. I'm not sure if he's a reserve or not.
Bella is
He's a tier 3 driver, so I have no idea why he's in here. I might just follow it up quickly.
Yep, I don't know what's going on there.
If he doesn't leave, then we may have to do something about that. But we'll worry about that in a sec. Yeah, we might just move off him for now. Yeah, he's a tier 3 driver, so he shouldn't be in here. But oh well. Who have we got on a lap? So Cost is not pushing, so we'll move off him. Is P White? Looks like P White might be on a lap here. As Artie goes quickest, 42.8. So first man of the 42s. So that's a good lap there. 2 tenths clear, or a tenth and a half clear of Ashima Takada for now. So that's good there from the Racing Point driver. Decent team there is Racing Point this season. Both guys getting consistent points. Not quite threatening for wins week in, week out. Although last week they had fantastic results. So momentum is big in league racing. If you can get yourself on a roll, then you really can carry it forward. Speaking of a roll, P White's second up in his best time. He's currently sitting last of the guys who have set laps. We've got 3 guys plus the DNF guys who haven't set laps yet. But P White, who will want to vault himself up the leaderboard a little bit.
There we go, Bella's now left. I've just received word. It was an accidental invite. Put out.
That's good.
But that's alright, he's left now. So, more yellows in sector 2. I think, most of these yellows are just traffic. It can be a bit tricky to get out of the way in some points in the circuit. But for the most part, it's usually not too bad. So we'll just see here. Artie Chen is currently the only man in the 42s. But, I'm sure that most of these guys are going to go for one more run. We've only got about half a field on the track at the moment, but I'm sure we'll see a couple more in the 42s at least.
Yep. I saw P White jump to 9th. I'm just on board with Lunacy as Dangerfield goes 42.6, so that's 2 tenths clear of Artie. It's a good lap there from the Williams man. Just on board with Lunacy here, he should be threatening the top couple of positions. He's currently 8 tenths up on his best, which would put him... That would put him on a 43 or 42.9. That would be 42.5 actually. This could be threatening the top from Lunacy here. Quick math's not quite working on the occasion for me, but 8 tenths plus a little bit here. Macedonian goes P2, so the big boys are starting to put their laps in now. We'll see what the Ferrari man can do in response. All gets a bit loose on the curb in the bus stop chicane, but does okay with it overall. And he goes quicker to 42.4, so he's found another tenth in that third sector there. So that's 2 tenths clear of Dangerfield, so really good lap there from Lunacy in the Ferrari. He'll be happy with that, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a real statement there from Lunacy. Obviously the last couple of weeks he's been a little bit off his game, but he really put in a banging lap there to put himself in P1.
Yeah.
We'll see if he can keep it. I'm not sure if he can. It's 2 tenths ahead of Dangerfield at the moment, who's been punching above his weight for a reserve coming in, I believe Dangerfield is.
Yep.
In the last few weeks. Yeah, so now he's been doing quite well as he goes over the bumps there around turn 2. Sector 2. Yeah.
His teammate F1 Boy is putting a banging lap as well, I think worth noting. So that super from F1 Boy usually sitting around the middle to back of the top 10. He's up in P5 in quali now, so Williams guys looking okay, both of them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find here who's actually on a lap. F1 Boys.
MJ might be finishing one in the Mercedes. I think he's on a lap.
Runners, yeah, most of the top runners currently going back in the in-lap, but F1 Boy looks to be coming around the final sector. He's got his teammate in the way up here. It shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, MJ goes
MJJ.
Yep, just on board for that first sector there.
Actually.
Yeah, 15 thousandths. Good lap.
F1 Boy actually backs out of the lap, so yeah, that's not much pole, but he's got it. Lunacy's actually on a lap here, I think. Sorry.
Oh no, he's not up on his time, so he's just cooling down. He's not going to have time to go again, so that will be Lunacy done. Of course, that little pit lane, qualifying glitch has been resolved now, so even if he wanted to try and exploit that, and I know Lunacy is an honest man, and there you go, he does retire. So that is one thing. I believe it is illegal anyway in Race Spec, but new update as of last night. I think a couple of things changed, a few coloured things for liveries, suits, a couple of performance updates to the real life cars. Not too much that affects multiplayer other than that quali. As Dangerfield's retired, I believe that's in the pits as well. So guys realising that they don't have time to do more laps. Speaking of laps, Insulator's on one now. He's usually sitting around that top 5 area as well, so he'll be hoping to hook this lap up and vault himself up from P10 currently, which is not an ideal place to be starting. The last of the qualifying tyre runners being in that top 10. So have to see what the Alpha Romeo man can do. His teammate usually up towards the front with him, bidding it, so he's gone wide there. He's probably lucky if he hasn't invalidated. It doesn't look like he has, but he is down in his time, so not great there for Insulator. He's going to have a mega third sector to improve.
Yeah, so a few more people starting their final laps now. We've actually got quite a big queue coming through the final corner. Spin Matata, Mofo, Nickman, yeah, there's a few more now going for a quick lap, so we'll see. It's really all going to come down to the last corner or two. I'm seeing P White all right, and Artie Cheng's getting pretty close to each other in the last sector. They might want to give each other a bit of room, which they do. But yeah, it looks like the Insulator's already done. Spin Matata coming through though.
Yep, he's in the second sector. Yep, so he's on a hot lap, last chance. Mofo's just ahead of him as well. Is that someone ending their lap? No, I think Mofo might be the next one to finish the lap. Actually, Nickman, sorry. He's invalidated. So right on board Mofo, I think, and then we'll flip to Ashina Matata, because they are the first two to finish their last laps. Mofo's 6/10 up in his best, so that's going to put him with a 42.4 as well, actually possibly even a 42.3. So this could be the pole lap here for Mofo. Yeah, if he holds on to this time, it will be P1. But it's all down to this braking zone and traction out of the final corner, which is tricky. Gets the car stopped pretty nicely there actually. Hits both axes, which is really good. Gets on the power. He's taking that really well. It should be pole. It is 42 flat, so he's found half a second almost.
Well, don't rule that out so quickly, because Schooner Matata is a 10th up. Oh no, actually, that's not going to actually prove. So, yeah, but there's lots of people on laps now, so
yep,
we'll have to wait and see who comes through.
Hotman Dan is coming through as well around the final corner. We know Insulator's not on the lap. Oh, Hotman Dan gets a bit loose in the power there. That could cost him a bit of time, and it has. He's improved a tiny bit, but not enough to move up position. I think Dan the Racer is on the lap as well, coming through the bus stop, and then P White will be the last one, I think. Actually, no, Artie Cheng's is between them, so the 2 racing points still could improve, but I don't think Dan the Racer...
Artie Cheng's is in the pits, he's down quite a bit on his time.
Yep. So P White, he's in the pits as well, so that'll be it. That'll do us for qualifying then. So Mofo will take out pole by 4/10, which is actually a lot. Even with the length of the track, 4/10 is still a sizable margin, so that's really good there from Mofo there, really putting on a championship charge. That's a champion's kind of qualifying there, so starting to assert a bit of dominance at the top. Yeah, real consistency in general, so Mofo making his move. so good to see him on top, just ahead of MJ. And then the gap from MJ to Lunacy is almost nothing. So that top 3 is 6.5 tenths clear of, or Dangerfield 6.5 tenths off pole. 2 tenths between 3rd and 4th there, and then Macedonian current championship leader P5. Artie Cheng's last week's race winner will start P6, Insulator 7th. F1 boy with a good qualifying 8th, Shinmatata 9th, he might have wanted a little bit more, and ASAT Rocky in 10th. Hotman Dan will start P11, so he'll get fresh choice of tyres, as will P White, Dustcast, Nixman, Dan the Racer, and Honest. So Honest Group not setting a good time in the end there, and then we had 3 retirements on track, and then Abella Danger, who has left the lobby, so his car will disappear from the session.
Yeah, BMAC actually is pointing out in the chat that this could possibly be a problem with Abella's AI. Hopefully not.
I believe if he leaves before qualifying starts, the car will disappear, whereas if he leaves in the loading screen, the car will be there. So I think the fact he's already left means the car will be removed. I think that's how it works. But
okay.
Yeah, let's hope we don't see that car on the grid.
Yeah.
Otherwise his AI will be racing the whole time, and if it causes trouble we may have to do something about that, but we'll have to see. Not much we can really do about it from here.
I'm sure it will just get, if it does, it will just get removed from the race results, so no worries about that.
Yeah, and if the AI is too high, we'll probably just start another lobby. But I think the AI is set to like 80 or something, so it should be reasonable.
Yeah, so obviously we're probably going to see a soft to medium for most people here, or a medium to soft. I personally would not recommend going on to the hards, as I learned the hard way earlier on, but yeah, so it's a very simple strategy here. Obviously seeing a very dry, clear skies, no chance of showers, so yeah, obviously the top 10, we'll just get it up here, will be on those softs, and then yeah, we're seeing Hold Up Man Dan, P White alright, Honest, and BMAC in the mediums. We saw Mofo and MJ nearly making contact tomorrow.
That could put them to the grid if they did touch each other.
MJ's actually just taken off.
Nope, looks like
he's gone.
Looks like they may have missed each other in the end.
MJ not hanging around.
I'm a little bit surprised that more guys haven't gone mediums. Although the soft to get the good start is important. You don't want to lose the train. It is probably one of the most comfortable soft to mediums on the game. Britain and Belgium are usually pretty comfortable, so we shouldn't see too much variance off that, barring safety cars or damage or other kind of things like that. So it should be fairly straightforward, but yeah, MJ's run off. I'm not sure what's happening. Also at the back there's a couple of guys lingering around for some reason.
Bella's AI is actually in the game.
Oh, it is great.
So yeah, that's okay. Look, hopefully it will just get removed from the results. Hopefully it doesn't cause any collisions or any incidents. Yeah,
that's far from ideal. The best thing to happen now would probably be to invite him in and get him to retire in the pits, but that's probably a bit of fuss. We might even reset the lobby because of the AI, and we don't want that disrupting people.
Yeah, I'll just see.
I was just messaging our coordinator at the moment. Looks like we may restart it.
Yeah, actually, Bella's actually said he can come back in and retire his car for us. We'll see if he can do it now.
Yep, just messaging the big boss, or the mini big boss of the tier. It's a little bit radio silence for now, perhaps, while we sort it out. We've only got 15 seconds or so to do it. But these guys are just lining up to the grid.
Seconds.
Yep. So if he gets in, then we should not have any dramas.
Yeah, we've actually got quite a bit of a gap to... who's this? Someone's slowed right down Candy Cane. Really wanting to make sure that those guys at the front are on cold tires.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He should be joining back any second, hopefully.
We will resume with the race Are you friends with him? Like, would you send him an invite?
I've sent him a couple of invites.
Yep. All right, great. So we should be okay there. Anyway, we'll get this race started.
Yep.
And we got confirmation in the stream chat. I assume that's from him. Although it looks like we're frozen. No, we're not frozen. Good. So looks like that will sort itself out. But we'll worry about the race, which is about to start. We've got 4 or 5 red lights, and we are underway very quickly actually. Our leaderboard's whack as, so that doesn't help as normal. Looks like Mofo's gotten away well, and the rest of the field they're about 7,000 wide behind. Looks like we've got a bit of chaos at the back. Perhaps I'll keep an eye on the front because the front two are side by side. Mofo and MJ. Who's going to back out? Mofo backs out, playing the long-term game there, being in the championship fight. So perhaps smart from him there. I thought Lunacy is under threat from Macedonian as well after making the move at the start of the race. The MJ will lead them away actually, so great start there from the Mercedes. But Lunacy and Macedonian side by side still. Isabella is in the session now, so he will retire in the pits at the end of the lap. So that should be no dramas at all from now. Looks fairly clean, although we've got a bit of an incident at the back here. Who's that around? Looks like an Alpha.
It's Candy Cane.
Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, it's a bit tight through the middle section.
Yeah, oh, ASAP Rocky and Ashuna Matata are side by side. Ashuna Matata squeezes around the outside and looks like down the race it will make a move, an F1 boy behind as well and possibly even threaten ASAP. So lots of guys in really close proximity. Right at the back, Abella's just getting out of the way. But was Candy Cane who's gone round, so after DNFing in quali without setting a lap, he's now been involved in some sort of incident at the start. So it's gone from bad to worse for Candy Cane. Let's see if he can recover. But up the front it is MJ with a lightning start. Mofo did get the initial best start, but MJ went round the outside of turn 1.
And that's Dangerfield round into the wall. On the turn, coming up that straight.
Oh, trying to catch
and he's got wing damage, he'll be in for hits.
Oh yeah, we just caught the end of that there.
He's just crawling. In fact, I think he has a puncture as well. Maybe no, sorry, he doesn't. But
you're just struggling with keeping it in the straight lane. Not great there. Oh, ASAP Rocky and Shumatar going side by side as well. Big squeeze there from ASAP Rocky. It looks like Artie Cheng's MJ. Oh, MJ's dropping. What's happened to MJ? Or that's just a lag thing for me maybe. No, he's back at the front. Okay. So I'm getting some weirdness. I was just getting worried there because his name dropped off the leaderboard a really long way. But that could just be a glitch now end. So apologies about the little scare there. As we've got a couple of yellows up the back. I think Abella,
I think he's
getting out
just
of the way.
got into his car now.
Yep, so that's good. We won't think about that again. As MJ's ghosted on my screen for some reason. But Macedonian's now putting One Stick Mofo under a bit of pressure now at the front. Macedonian looks like he's got some good race pace. We're right on board through the second sector and see if he wants to throw the nose in anywhere. Mofo runs really, really deep, and that's going to open the door slightly, but not really a viable overtaking point as Macedonian's getting loose in the power. What this is doing is it's going to help MJ break away slightly, so they're going to have to play it a bit smart. Speaking of breaking away, Lunacy's dropped a little bit, so he needs to put in a good second sector here to stay within DRS. And just as we've jumped on board, Macedonian's made a mistake, so now Macedonian's going to be in trouble to keep with DRS. So we're seeing a lot of guys making some little errors at the start, trying to push to stay with each other. But MJ, he started to stretch the legs a little bit at the start. We got to Mofo to stay with him. It looks like fairly clean actually, generally, although a couple of little incidents from drivers putting them to the back. Candy Cane and Dangerfield most notable, but I think the rest of the field look like they've gotten away fairly nicely. Jump to the midfield here. Looks like ASAP Rocky's managed to lose touch of Soskas by a fair amount. He's now got a bit of a train behind him as well. So that midfield there looking a bit spicy. Shumatata looking to make a move, but can't quite.
Possibly on the switchback though. He's got a good run out of here.
Yeah, it's looking good. Just see him Williams off wide.
You might get him into the long straight a bit far back.
Yeah, ASAP won't have DRS as we've got more yellows. That is in the final corner. I think is that Drow. Drow's gone around at the final corner, so not great there. Isabella is now going to retire, so that is no dramas there. Up the front, looks like Macedonian's actually dropped DRS from Mofo, so he might come under pressure from Lunacy, but not this lap. The gap is too big, and Mofo is too far away from MJ to make a move as well. With P White and F1 Boy swapping positions as well. P White getting it done on DRS, so good move there from P White. He's now got BMAC in front, who is on the mediums. So P White and BMAC in 12th and 11th. They're our lead medium runners. But BMAC, he's going to want to push on the back and down the racer and not lose DRS. He's bubbling right around that second for the moment. But that's important for their races. You got Honest in P14 and hold it and down in P16 also mediums. Dangerfield pit hards as well, which is worth noting. So he's going to have a long old race, trying to get those up to speed.
Yeah, he'll obviously try and stretch them to the end now after that crash on lap 1. As I said before, just looking at this DRS train now, kind of to the first pit stops, kind of on Artie Cheng's insulated Suscas. Basically, that whole top 10 are reasonably within DRS range of each other. But MJ is trying to... Sorry, Mofo and MJ are trying to break away here a bit from Macedonia and Lunacy.
Oh, we've got some more yellows. Jowd's on the wall at the back. He's in the fence. That's
retired.
the same place he crashed in qualifying. So he's lost it probably on that inside curb. Or possibly on the outside there.
See a safety car. He has two. He's completely lost it, but no, looks like we've just got yellows. Although MJ's ghosting here.
Well, MJ's left. He's lagged out, so that's massive there from the race lead. That's going to put Mofo in the lead. And Macedonia's caught. He might get a little bit of DRS off the end as well. So let's hope MJ gets back in the session, because that would be massively costly as well. It's just generally disappointing if he lagged out and couldn't get back in. So let's really hope that he can get in the session. Macedonia is going to get by him, so MJ already down to P3. Lunacy's might get him in the next couple of corners as well. It will take a minute or two for him to get back in the session. So not ideal there for MJ at the lead of the race. Let's hope he gets back. As Lunacy now goes through him now for P3. Artie Cheng's won't be too far away. Drow has left, obviously disappointed with himself. So both Mercedes running into trouble early on. As Artie Cheng's now gets up into P4. So these guys all inheriting a free position at MJ's expense, which is not what we like to see. But unfortunately, internet is a major part of league racing, and it's costing MJ at the moment. So let's hope that gets up and running as soon as possible.
I'm just watching here. That sixth is now gone, so yeah, he's just dropping like... Yeah.
Oh, B-Max in the fence.
Oh!
Sorry, I just jumped on board for the end of that, because he was getting nice and close to, I'm not sure who it was behind, I think it was down the racer, and he's in the wall, and I wonder if he's got damage. I'm getting a poor camera angle there. But he hit that wall quite hard, and he's on the mediums too, so that can be costly if he does have damage. It looks like he may have gotten away with it somehow, but yeah, he's dropped a lot of positions in a bit of time as well, so not great there for BMAC. We just caught the end of that as Shumataro and ASAP Rocky's in the pits actually. Just saw a move there. So first one in the pits, I wonder if he's got damage or if it's just strategic. It is very, very early. You'd expect to see the soft guys in lap 7, 8, 9 kind of range.
So MJ's back.
MJ is back.
He's dropped 7 positions, so not great. I mean, I don't know if he's going to make that back up now, but we've definitely been trying to push to gain what he lost.
He'll be driving hard.
Yeah. Actually, Scooter Matata's on the back of him, and he's going to make a move down the inside. I think MJ only joined just as he was going to go into Eau Rouge there.
I think he's...
Inside he isn't.
Yeah, he's just got
past
control.
him now. Oh, he's actually lost it. And he's in the wall, and he's retired.
And he's retired.
This might be...
This could be a safety car.
Could be, maybe not. It doesn't look like the safety car is very keen to come out from Tier 4.
No, Bert's having a beer, it seems. Bert Maylander.
Yeah.
We're not even getting a virtual, wow. So we've got 2 big incidents with the Mercedes, and no virtual or safety car. So very questionable there from race control. They must all be having a snooze. But that's just insanely disappointing, isn't it? Lags out of P1 and rejoins and puts it in the wall. Probably...
Nearly a huge collision between F1 boy and Honest Crook. Honest Crook swerved out of it at the last minute, but that could have been an aeroplane crash.
Oh, so these guys all getting into trouble.
Not giving him too much space, but keep on board with this, because Honest looks like he's got a bit more pace.
Or F1 boy sliding around. Struggling with the tyres, looks like.
The last second. Oh, where's Honest Crook and BMAC actually going side by side?
Oh, BMAC's right there, yeah.
This corner.
BMAC down the inside, that's a strong move. That's a fantastic move. Honest gave him the space. Yeah, good sportsmanship from the pair of them, but superb from BMAC to get the run there. Assuming Retardo, I think, just might have made a move on down the race.
BMAC making a move from F1 boy now as well. He's in the mediums, if you remember, so these soft runners' tyres starting to die out a bit now. So this is kind of where BMAC is going to be making his moves. Obviously another one who's kind of in the championship fight. As Lunacy's under attack here from Artie Cheng's.
And Macedonia's got Mofo on the straight as well. So Macedonian into P1 and Artie Cheng's into P3. As we've got another incident. Hotman Dan's in the fence.
If this isn't the safety
we jump
car...
on board with ASAP Rocky. And, yeah, he's on the right-hand side. Third car there.
I'm starting to order a virtual safety car.
There we go.
Okay. I was just about to say, I'm starting to think the safety car's off, but...
Yeah.
Maybe not quite after that incident, but... Yeah, that's 3 DNFs now and not a full safety car.
Oh, this isn't good. So I'm just on board with BMAC and F1 Boy, and I think they've both got the glitch where they're getting told to let the other one go. They're playing a bit of leapfrog and losing a bit of time to the guys in front. As F1 Boy gets 5 seconds, yeah, so...
And BMAC will probably get it as well, I'm assuming.
Oh, BMAC will be fine because he's behind him. I think F1 Boy may have just made a move on him, and BMAC tried to go around to get it back, which...
Here we go, BMAC's actually going soft.
He's going to get run anyway. F1 Boy should be able to get that removed, unless it was actually illegal, but with this game you never know. But F1 Boy, he'll lose the position anyway, so no harm done with the exception of that 5 seconds. But F1 Boy really struggling at the moment, as we've already got 4 retirements, or 3 retirements in this race, 6.5 laps in. So lots of guys struggling. Suscas on the back of Lunacy, so Lunacy's lost a little bit of time on this lap. Suscas is really catching up in Slater.
I was just about to say, I think Lunacy's going to go into pit.
That's not a bad call. Yeah.
Not enjoying those soft tyres, so he's in now. And he'll be. I'm seeing he'll be followed by anyone. Doesn't look like it, believe it or not. He actually is F1 Boy. So he's in as well.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Lunacy's put on medium, so it's a fair way to take him, but they should be able to make it. As got Mofo, he's going to be too far away. So P White's now in P8 on mediums. He's the leader of the medium runners with BMAC and Honest and P9 and him behind. Excuse me. But yeah, they've got a bit of a gap to down the race in front, who's also got a bit of a gap to Matata. So this field is getting fairly spread now. You can see on the mini-map, plenty of cars with a bit of distance between them. The closest battle is for P1 at the moment. But these guys just looking like they're settling into their race now. They've sorted themselves out a little bit of pace. We should see Lunacy start to come back through the field though on this fresh mediums. He'll have the best tyres of everyone. F1 Boy Pitt, you mentioned the same lap, he's actually gone hard, so he's gone for longevity over short-term pace. It'll be interesting to see what his progress is like. But yeah, Williams now down at 14th and 15th after both qualifying so well. So they're another team who's had a disappointing race so far. As BMAX on the back of P White will stick with this battle as well.
Yep.
As a couple of guys picking up penalties.
The top 3, there's not too much happening. They've got to spread themselves out a bit, but what will be interesting now is the pit stop to see who ducks in this lap, who ducks in next lap. I'm not too sure, but yeah, as I said, BMAC closest right now in a battle with P White on the right. Yeah,
Lunacy's got some clear air, so the undercut will be a thing. As Macedonian's in. And Mofo will stay out. We'll see how many of the other guys pop in. ID Cheng stays out. Suscas will have to stay out. Insulator's in, as is Matata. Yep, so a bit 50-50 at the top here. Down the race it stays out. So the benefit of staying out is slightly fresher tyres at the end, but the undercut, if you can come back out in clear air, could be quite important. So keep an eye on Lunacy's gap. I'll stay on board with BMAC because he may make a move on P White here, all 3 on the mediums.
Macedonian will get out in front of Lunacy, but he's on the hards.
Ooh,
so he's
okay.
also, I believe this is what's happened with myself as well in the previous race. The strategy actually at the start of the race says go into mediums, but the game, as Codemasters usually do, screw you over a bit and put you onto the hards, which I didn't notice until I actually came out. But yeah, I don't believe Macedonian actually would want those hards to move on the mediums, but
yeah, staying out an extra lap, you'd rather have those fresher tyres, I think, because you've kind of lost that, or you kind of lost that pain you took for the benefit in staying out an extra lap. But importantly, he's still ahead of Lunacy, who's now stuck behind Candy Cane, still on those old softs. So Lunacy needs to clear Candy Cane if he wants to stay with Macedonian, particularly with that tyre difference. If he wants to make a difference with them now, as Lunacy's right at the back, probably not a smart idea to try and make a move in here. So Insulator and the Matata came out behind ASAP Rock, who's about 5 seconds behind Lunacy, so they've lost out a little bit in terms of an undercut to Lunacy, but now Lunacy's getting majorly held up by Candy Cane on old tyres. Candy Cane's pace, it's not about that, it's just about the tyres, we'll just clear that up. But Candy Cane staying out a little bit.
P White on right as well. So
can he get a run?
Actually, he's gotten away from a bit. He's really close in the last corner.
Honest has a run behind. So Honest is actually going to get BMAC here, I think.
Yep.
Let's jump off board and see if we get a nice camera angle. That's not too bad actually, as we've got more guys at the front pitting. Doesn't quite get it, but under DRS for the next straight. See if he can get a good exit. Looks like he has, but VMAX done okay there as well, so they may hang on for now. And P White's actually doing quite well. He's getting good traction out of the important zones. He's not really coming under pressure yet. But VMAX does look a bit quicker during the corners. So if VMAX can get past P White, then he may be able to stretch the legs a tiny bit. But P White's doing the important bit when it matters.
Right, so just notice if the lead, Macedonian keeps it provisionally. Mofo behind him by about 1.7 seconds, and Lunacy has actually jumped in between Artie Chengs and Mofo. So
wow, yeah.
That's critical for Lunacy. He obviously got past Candy Cane, and he's probably would have been able to get ahead of Mofo if it wasn't for him being stuck in traffic. But yeah, now the critical thing will be, can Mofo hunt down Macedonian on a different set of tyres?
Yeah, 3 seconds won't help. Is that Insulator? Is it Insulator? Yeah, so he's gone round. He was in around about 6th, 7th net. So he's lost out. He's just pit. This is his outlap from his pit stop, so that's not going to do his tyres any good. He's going to have the Hungry Williams guys on the halves behind him, so he needs to pick up that pace quickly. As BMAX finally made a move from P White. Wow, in the second sector. P White's on the curve and he's gone round. That's massively disappointing there. He's out of the fence though, so we won't have damage, but he's going to have to let these guys go. As he's going to just miss the fence, getting it back on track. But that's majorly disappointing there for P White. He's now effectively pit stop down from the guys around him, or he gets in front of a couple of guys and nearly, yeah, a bit close for comfort there for, I think it was Ace up and Shooter Matata coming through. As the two Williams guys are swapping over a bit as well, but yeah, P White, that's a massive shame. He had some good trap position. Speaking of trap position, VMAX now P2 and Honest P3, so they've got good trap position. As everyone is in now. Yep.
Yeah, so here we go. We should see Macedonian in the lead comfortably. Provisionally still is what I mean. So,
although, look at Mofo, he's caught him. He's caught him, he's under DRS now, so...
mediums.
Yeah.
Yeah. Macedonian might be on the threat here.
Yeah, Macedonian's pace will be at the end of the race. So Mofo has to use the tyres now. But... yeah, I'm still pretty sure, because Mofo, he's only done, I think this will be his first flying lap, second lap if you count the outlap, on those mediums, they'll be comfortable to the end. So Macedonian needs to have some really good pace here and really push these hards, as hard as it might be to do. He just needs to push, as Artie picks up 3 seconds. So a lot of the top guys actually picking up 3 seconds, as we see ASAP Rocky cut in the corner after conceding to Shooter Matata. So we might have to check those penalties come the end of the race as well, because that could play a part. We've seen a fair few popping definitely up. So that could be quite important. It is quite easy to run wide, cut a couple of corners around here, a few flat curbs, and a few inviting curbs definitely to take. As Artie and Lunacy, Lunacy's round, Lunacy's gone round at Puong. So that's big there for the Ferrari man. He's going to come back on. He's going to
lose position to both of them.
Yeah, he'll redress cleanly, but he's lost a lot of trap position in a net P3 there for Lunacy. He's now going to have some hot tyres. You can see that back end sliding around. He's going to need to take a slow lap to cool those off a bit. But another mistake, I'm not sure, because he was right with Artie. I'm not sure if he's put it on the curb himself or if he's made a bit of contact. I don't think Artie was that close to him for what I was looking at the gaps, but that's massively disappointing for Lunacy. But that'll put Artie into an effective podium position now. As speaking of podiums, Mofo is now on the back of Macedonian, yeah, into DRS zone comfortably, and he's going to have a lot of grip out of here. Takes a really tight line. Macedonian goes takes a lot wider line to get the power down a bit quicker, and he's actually got to do an exit here. So Mofo is going to have to burn a bit of battery, but he doesn't have much to play with. Oh, he takes a lot of inside curb there. That is risky.
Using all that ARS. He doesn't have much though, but Macedonian doesn't have much either.
He's not got much either, yeah.
They are really pushing it, these two.
Yeah, or Mofo really let the brakes there, but not close enough to make a move. So he's going to have to settle down for another lap and possibly save a bit of ARS. What Mofo could do, oh, we'll keep an eye on that, yeah. Get down the race and gets him on those fresh mediums. Yeah, I was going to say from Mofo, he could possibly look after those mediums a tad and save a bit of battery, and kind of preserve the life of the mediums a bit longer and perhaps have a go a bit later, because it looks like with both of them pushing their very similar pace, Macedonian and Mofo. Of course, these guys in a direct championship fight, I think I said it was 4 points between them. I'll double check that. Yeah, there's not 6 points between them, so really important to see who can come out on top with this battle. But we'll see who can play their cards well. So Macedonian Mofo using very similar ERS saving strategy, which is not much saving at all. So they both have to send it for now, but we'll see who can make it work the best. Speaking of working, BMAC and Honor still ahead. They're 2 and a bit seconds ahead of Macedonian. So we should see them in probably around about lap 13, I'd say. The fresh softs should be able to do 8-9 laps pretty comfortably. Possibly even next lap. So they'll drop to get up the gap to leader as Adi does the quickest lap. So BMAC and Honors will probably drop to around about 10th, 11th. I think the pit stop is about 17-18 seconds. Possibly a tiny bit less. So they're going to have a bit of work to do, but a safe car now would really help them. But maintain that trap position, which is really important. Something that unfortunately we saw P White wasn't able to do, making that mistake there. As Macedonian's weaving on the straight now, Mofo, he's really close. He should be able to make a move. He's going to go around the outside. Macedonian will defend it. Tiny bit of contact. Oh, Mofo's gone around. Oh, such a difficult corner to go side by side, and unfortunately they've not made that work. Mofo's now lost time.
Get him, he does.
And Suskas is going to get him. Where's Chimatata? No.
Quite going to get him.
Yeah, but that's 2 positions lost, or 3 if you count the P3 that he momentarily had there. But I mean, that's almost impossible to go side by side cleanly there at that pace. But hard wheel to wheel racing, and Mofo has come off worse. I didn't get a fantastic camera angle to see whether the door was closed or anything.
I can definitely confirm a racing incident from my perspective.
You reckon?
Just didn't leave each other both enough room, and unfortunately Mofo's got that touch on his inside right wheel and just sliding around to do.
It's that weird little kind of game physics thing. Like, he's not going to pick up damage and contact's going to be so minuscule, but because of the way the cars hit each other, like a front wheel and the side pod, it just sends you around instantly. You just for some reason lose all grip in these cars. So even though that contact wasn't major, you could see the effect was instantaneous. There was no chance of really saving that. But yeah, from our camera angle we got a nice side-on shot, which would have been beautiful if they managed to hold it clean. But unfortunately Mofo, he's now going to be a fair way behind Macedonian. We'll see the gap to leader again. He's now, what's that, about 7 seconds behind Macedonian, so that's a fairly big time loss. So he's going to have to put in some really good laps to catch back up. Yeah, he was right at the back of Lunacy there. I saw that gap closing, so I wonder what the go is there. I wonder if he's picked up some damage or something. But that's a weird one. 7 laps on the mediums. Yeah, you watch that. I'll jump to Dangerfield, who's back on F1 Boy again. So these two having an almighty battle in the Williams team. Oh, they're weaving everywhere. And Dangerfield's now going to try and close the door on F1 Boy on the inside. So these Williams guys not racing like teammates, really. Well, I guess you could say racing like some teammates. Thinking of Perez and Ocon around Belgium, but not giving each other any space at all. And F1 Boy is going to take a warning there, but get a good run on Dangerfield. They're going to go side by side again. So these Williams guys racing hard. Dangerfield as a reserve, not letting F1 Boy assert dominance. Although F1 Boy will get him on this occasion, but these guys been to and froing the whole race. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them continue to do so. It is the closest battle on track, so we'll keep an eye on this fight. But we've got Candy Cane just behind as well, had a shocker of a race so far. Then ASAP Rocky just pit his second time and is now behind, so he'll catch them as well on those fresh softs. But yeah, bit of argy-bargy up and down the field. The Williams guys and the Hards both been kind of disappointed with their race starts. Oh, I think I just saw Dangerfield lose it. Yeah, he did. He's now on the fence there. I just saw the Williams in the background just get sent from the rear, and he's picked up some damage. So Dangerfield looks like that battle is now over between the pair of them. So Dangerfield's going to have to pit. He'll put on some softs, probably go for a quickest lap. I just saw that in the background there. Speaking of pitting, BMAC and Honor still haven't, but I wouldn't be surprised to see either of them in the next 2 laps.
I think this lap.
Or next lap, sorry.
At least the one after. Yeah,
I'm
this
actually,
lap should both come in.
Thinking about it now, I'm surprised that either of them haven't. Like 8 laps on softs, 9 laps on softs is pretty doable. They must be confident enough in their pace in the mediums, unless they're just holding out for a safety car or something. I mean, something like Dangerfield there, if that was a bit of a bigger incident with a few more people around, then you never know.
In fact, Honest is actually
going to make a move.
BMAC here. Are they going to try and go side by side as well?
We're right on board this time. Oh, there's more contact. We're on board for that one. Honest was just coming across the front. Yeah, that one was maybe less of a racing incident slide. I think Honest may have shut the door a little bit, but BMAC did try to throw their nose in there a bit extra. but he's come off worse. So again, sort of 50-50 there, but a bit more contact there than the last one, and we were on board for that, so we could see that space close. But I was trying to sweep around the outside, BMAC trying to stick the nose in. But yes, more disaster. BMAC's now down to P6. It's left pit again, so that's really costly for him. And now Honest is pretty much the lone medium runner who hasn't had something bad happen to him. Or like a medium starter.
He's only got 1.3 seconds to Macedonian, so I'll have a look at the leader's time. He's probably going to come out in about 10th or 11th place. So yeah, look, Macedonian should be on for the win here if you can hold it together, although there's nothing yellow.
Ooh, I think it's Candy Cane. It is, he's around, he's doing some donuts as well, and he's retired on track, which is illegal, so let's hope that doesn't cause a VS0 safety car, because he'd be in big trouble if it did. Who's that coming through? I can't really see, I think it's Nick Mann. Yep. As Honest Cook finally pits now, so maybe seeing that yellow, he's decided now's the time, although those tyres will still be bad. B-Max in as well, so he may have picked up a bit of damage from that. That was a fairly decent hit. It's disappointing there for B-Mac, but he's now going to send it around on some softs for the rest of the race. So that will put Mofo back in P4. Shin Matata will inherit the position as well. Having a quiet race, we haven't really mentioned his name, have we? Shin Matata, he's been doing his business. He's got Lunacy closing,
quietly working away in the background as he does. So
yeah,
he's been doing well. I've just noticed Artie's actually got within a second now, well within a second of Macedonians. This could be a challenge for the lead. And then there's quite a bit of a gap back to Suscast, 5 seconds, although Mofo is coming back for his revenge for a podium. Yeah, so he's not far behind Suscast and Lunacy.
3 blue battles. Yeah, I'm on board with Lunacy now. He's got a lot of pace on the Shimatara, really, really deep on the brakes. We've kind of got 4 or 5 little battles here. I think BMAC is making a move as well on the DRS. It's got a few pairs of drivers. Honest down the race as well. Honest just spitting on those softs. He's going to want to get past down the race quickly and close that 5 seconds to Lunacy in front. But lots of little battles going on here. Looks like Lunacy has got a lot of pace now. Both Ferraris should be on a bit of a charge as Honest picks up 3 seconds. That won't help him.
That actually just reminded me, while you continue the broadcast, I am going to check the penalty situation.
Yes, I think it's worth a look now.
I'm going to need a lap or two to sort this all out, because I know there's going to be an absolute mountain.
Yeah, there'll be plenty.
For almost everyone. As I say that, actually Macedonia doesn't have a single warning.
There you go, so keeping it clean. He's doing all he needs to do, doesn't he? On those hards, he's actually maintaining some really good pace. Artie, I think, made a little mistake there perhaps, because he dropped a couple of tenths. But Macedonian, so keeping good pace.
Currently 6 seconds for Artie, 6 seconds for Suscast, 3 seconds for Mofo.
He's set quickest lap as well for Mofo.
The Schooner Matata, and 3 seconds for Lunacy. So it's really all to play for between second and kind of 7. Dan the racer actually is now Honest Crook with 1, Insulator with 1, BMAC with 2. So yeah, Macedonian should be on for it.
Mofo's going to make a move here. He just set the quickest lap in the last lap as well, did Mofo, so he's decided now's the time to go, and he's made a move on Suscast to the podium. He's now got a 5 second gap to Artie Cheng's in front, and then about 5.5 to Macedonian, so if he can close that, Mofo could be on for a win if he keeps it clean. But he needs to gain about, he needs to gain about 2.5 seconds in the last 6 laps to be able to shout, but Mofo now in clear air. We'll see what Suscast can do about it, but that penalty difference could come into play. Sorry, my mistake, not for the win. Macedonian, you said, was clean, but for second place. So he's going to have to close, he's going to have to close almost 2 seconds, which is definitely doable with that pace that he's showing and the pace he's shown all season.
Sorry, I think, did Artie have 1 penalty or did he have 6?
I think you said
he's got 6.
He's got 2 penalties. Right.
Yeah, so 6 seconds. So no, currently Mofo will get him, and Suscast almost as well. Artie's going to push because he'll be. I don't think Schooner Matata will get close to him. Yeah, he'll definitely be out of the podium places now.
Shimatada's 6 seconds back now. He's got Lunacy still behind him, so those Shimatada shouldn't threaten the top 4. Neither will Lunacy probably, and I think Honest Cook will run out of laps. So that top 4 is probably fairly set. Which is coming down to Sortman's does that. Artie might drop behind Mofo and Suscast if they can close the gap. Mofo is catching him. He sets another quick slap actually, and Suscast is following him. He's right with the DRS. So Mofo's going to tow Suscast towards Artie Cheng's. And Artie Cheng's won't be liking those purple sectors coming from the guy behind, as Honest Cook and the fresh soft will take the fastest lap. But I think that pace.
Take the lead here.
Oh, he's got a good run. Yeah, that's okay. I was about to flick to it. Yeah. This is.
Artie, it's going to be interesting into the braking. Are they going side by side?
Yeah, he's done it. Yep, so good move there around the outside. That's how you do it. He was well ahead in the braking zone. Suskas and Mofo also swapped positions. So Suskas fighting back, which is great to see. We like to see that. Mofo won't be impressed. He's going to have to stick behind for the whole second sector. And Ashimatara and Lunacy as well. Bit of contact, bit more contact. Oh, they've done well to not go round. Still side by side. They're giving each other plenty of space. These guys really showing each other some good respect, leaving space, which is really great to see. But Lunacy still trying to hang around the outside, going the long way around. Ashimatara not making it easy.
That's very good sportsmanship.
That's fantastic racing.
Well done.
They're going to go again though. Lunacy down the inside.
Keep it side by
He'll
side
back
through
out.
They don't.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, well, great racing from both of those guys.
If you want to learn how to race wheel to wheel cleanly and get your friends to like you, tune into this. These two doing it well. You could say they're not being aggressive enough, and they definitely could have been more assertive, but both of them showing plenty of respect with each other, which is what we like to see. That's why we like to race in line with each other. So really good job there from Lunacy and Ashimatara to keep that clean. So yeah, we'll see how that battle unfolds. Macedonian right in the back of Artie again, so I reckon he'll possibly make another move. Artie, yeah, they've got similar ERS, just checking there. And behind them, Suskas and Mofo also close together as well. So these guys still kind of pairing up a bit with battles. Honest Crook's only 2 seconds behind his teammate now, so he might get involved with Lucy and Ashimatara. I reckon if we don't see Lucy get him in 2 laps, Lucy may let Honest Crook go and let him have a ping at it, but we'll have to see how the Ferraris sort themselves out. Macedonian may have a run. He's using all his battery, but all of it is about 3%, and that's not going to get the job done.
All of his as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and honest, Mofo's already passed Suskas. Wow, that was another straight.
Yeah, I think Suskas, he may...
Lunacy on the back of Ashimatara now. So this is all these mini battles.
They're all being done, yep. So Lunacy, let's see if he can hang it around the outside now. He's got more yellows. B-Max on the ball. He's in the wall at Radeon. We'll jump on board with ASAP Rock. No, we won't. We've just missed him. B-Mac, P-White might be there. Or just on the right hand side, exactly the same thing again. So on the inside wall, we have a safety car. We have a safety car.
Safety car.
Wow. So this could be problematic because the safety car must have leave 2 racing laps at the end. So it's only going to be out for a maximum of 2 laps. But this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt Artie because he's got 6 seconds and most of the guys behind have 3. But he does have the trap position, which is important. But I mean, that's going to close up all those gaps. So someone kind of in the P6, 7, 8, 9, 10 range who has a few penalties, maybe able to get a jump here. But this is the last thing that these top guys would have wanted. Now they have to worry about behind.
All the viewers on stream, you have waited around patiently for the right moment because here it is. Here's
There'll be a 2-lap shootout.
It's going to be any. Finally, we get a safety car after the 7th retirement. Sorry,
yeah, about time.
Technically, so it was about time. But yeah, we've got it in a really crucial point in the race. We're going to see here.
Mofo's going to pit.
Come in? Yes, Mofo comes in.
I think that's a mistake. The safety car's not going to stay out long enough for him to catch back up. I don't think he's going to lose. He's going to lose 3 or 4 positions on track.
Yeah, because it's going to have to come in at the end of lap 20, isn't it?
And Lucy's in as well. I also think that's a mistake. As is Honest. Why would Honest pit? He's on 2-lap-old softs. That is really puzzling. The only reason I could think of that being viable is if you have a 5 seconds.
Well, Insulator, it's a bit of a copycat game.
Guys, what are you doing?
I remember, yeah, we got a double stack here at Ferrari actually.
Oh, guys. F1 boy. Oh, they're all in the pits. What are you doing? Oh, I mean, I guess with them all being in the pits, they're not all going to lose out that much, I guess. But, I mean, why would you...
No.
I mean, the safety car's going to come in
believe it or not,
lap, maybe, but...
No, we'll come in next lap, I believe. End of next lap.
Yeah, I mean, it should be the end of next lap, but I know for the Tier 3 race before, it should have stayed out 1 extra lap because there was still the car catching up, so I'm not too sure of it anymore.
I think Mofo might be in the box seat here. He's on fresh softs, and he's going up to...
Okay.
Yeah, and he's... Lunacy's going to actually catch up. There's actually a few of them that are going to catch up here, so this is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, okay,
Lunacy
so maybe... Yeah, if the safety car stays out 1 more lap, then it's okay. So they need to stay out 1 more lap. They really need to stay out 1 more lap. Otherwise, yeah. I mean,
so this is going to come down to penalties as well. So obviously, these guys are building up their ERS now as well. The top 4, mainly everybody actually. But yeah, well, we're going to get a wild last 3 laps here.
You wouldn't want to be on those tyres though in the top 4, 9, 8, 10 lap old tyres.
Yeah, 9, 10,
and harder.
8, 10.
Yeah.
And then you've got a whole lot of zeros behind you. So, yeah, this is going to be an absolute defensive masterclass here from the top 4. We're going to have to wait and see what they produce. But
we could see some fireworks here because these guys behind will be absolutely sending it with such few laps left. Looks like the safety car will start one more lap.
and Lunacy, especially with the penalties that they've both got, they are just going to be going for it.
They have to go for it, yep.
No regrets, yep.
Yep, we've got one more lap, so everyone will catch up in the end. So I'm not too sure what was happening in the Tier 3 race before, but it looks like we will just get 2 laps of racing, which is the minimum required for the safety car. So everyone will get the chance to catch up, so maybe it wasn't such a bad decision in the end, but I wouldn't have been, honestly I'm really surprised as to why Honest Crook pit, because he was on 2 lap old softs, so they're still almost fresh, and he would have been in P5, he would have had that trap position, plus he wouldn't have lost the time stacking behind his teammates, so that's a puzzling one. As P White's going to pit now, he was a lap down on some of these guys anyway I think, so he's going to put on some fresh tyres. We saw him getting out of the way a couple of people before, but yeah, Honest is a funny one, but I guess they're all on even footing now. Now would be a good time to check the top 10 on penalties, just to confirm that. Because yeah, someone like an Honest or an Insulator, if they've kept it clean, they may be able to take advantage, as they've just overtaken each other and now they're both parked and they're both going to get, alright, this is not good. F1 Boy gets 5 seconds for a collision, Nickman's just going to go around the outside of everybody, and everyone's overtaking everybody down here. This is something else. Nickman's now got little overtakes, he's let Honest by. You've never seen so many moves under a safety car. F1 Boy gets 5 seconds for an overtake. This is really ugly. There's 5 cars who are leapfrogging each other at the back, due to all the yellow flag rubbish that tends to happen. As P White and Nickman now sort themselves out. So if any of these guys get 5 seconds, they should be able to get it removed, but it's just an awful mess what this game's producing under safety car. Not for the first time. So that's all incredibly messy, apologies about that, but just trying to sort themselves out. It looks like they've managed to do so now. Insulator's lost out though, he's gone 13.
This is going to come right down to the wire, because for the top 6, we've got Artie Cheng's on 6 seconds penalties. Macedonian is completely clean. Suscuss also is 6 seconds. But then Escrina Matata, Mofo, and Lunacy. And yeah, that's about it. Those 3 all only have 3 seconds. Okay. And then Dan the Racer completely clean as well.
Wow, so Dan could be on for a podium if he can keep himself out of trouble with everybody except for Macedonian penalties. Yeah, so Dan the Racer, if he knows that, he just needs to have a clean restart.
2 laps left. My prediction from here should be a Macedonian easy win, but don't rule anything out. Those soft cars are going to come through very fast, and we could see even more collisions.
He's going to have to defend hard on those mediums, so we could really see anything happen. Artie's going to back them all up. But yeah, Macedonian, he's got the trap position and he's got the penalties in favour, but those hard tyres will be the worst tyres on the grid. Not just the oldest, but the hardest, obviously. So, yes, it's going to be a challenge. It's not all done yet. We'll keep an eye out for those soft guys as well. They can be rapid. We might see Shinotada, Suscuss really have to defend hard, which may spark some action. But it looks like Artie Cheng's is still holding up.
Stalling here right to the last minute, doing a bit of a Valtteri Bottas strat.
Yeah, at least he's not done it on the middle of the straight. Looks like he's gone though.
He goes now.
Yep, so Macedonian, he's not actually been able to stay with him too much, and Mofo and Lunacy are really close together. Lunacy may actually look for a move, perhaps, on Mofo. Whoever gets in front of these guys could really be on for a good result, but Mofo will hang on. Now, Ashina Matata will come under pressure, I think. Suscuss is always back in Macedonian as well, so the 2 half guys getting close together. But Artie has done a really good restart actually, and has managed to stretch away. Mofo, that would be 2 warnings I reckon for Mofo there.
Lunacy is absolutely flying.
Lunacy's got him just about.
Just touched slightly.
Tiny bit of contact. So Lunacy, that's important there for Lunacy, because now he's going to be the first one to have a ping at these top 4. So Mofo losing out there, and they've got the same amount of penalties, don't they?
Bang!
Look at that grip, that's incredible.
Down the inside of Escrina Matata. Oh, he's trying to fight it actually, but I don't think
Lunacy needs to be assertive. Yep, he's got it. So Lunacy couldn't afford to give him more room than that. As much sportsmanship as it comes in, you still need to make that move strongly when you can. And Mofo, he's now going to be behind Ashima Tata through Puon, which could hold him up a little bit. Behind them, Dan the Racer's lost touch. So Dan the Racer, even with that penalty advantage, he needs to still stick with them. But yeah, second last lap, it'll be a 2-lap shootout for the whole field as Lunacy gets incredibly squirrely there. I think I just saw on board. Austin F1 boy having a scuffle, but we've got to stay with these top guys because Lunacy and Suscast both have incredible pace at the moment. As does Mofo. As Suscast gets loose. No, it's Macedonian gets loose. Suscast has now got him, and Lunacy's now on the back of him as well. What can Lunacy do?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
This could be tears. They've kept it clean for now. Where's Mofo in this? He's too far back. As is Ashima Tata.
Because he'll still be on for a race win.
Oh, around the outside of his teammate. Suscast gets 3 seconds.
Oh, Lunacy's sideways.
Yeah, Mofo's through on the Ashima Tata as well behind. So Lunacy and Mofo now P4 and 5. Ashima Tata's down to P6, but Lunacy getting a bit crossed up there. But Suscast picked up 3 seconds too, which is massive.
Last lap shootout. Here we go.
Yeah, so Suscast now on the back foot, but Macedonian still ahead. Artie Chang's in the second half clear, but with those penalties, that's not done yet. But Lunacy could be on for a P2. Yeah. Oh, look at Lunacy's run through Rouge and Madion. He's got a fantastic run there. Mofo's just behind as well.
All that ARS, but so is Suscast. They're using absolutely everything they've got. We've got yellow. That's Nick Man. The wall. Yep.
Yeah, Lunacy didn't get through there. Yeah, Suscast managing to hang on with the RS. Sorry, not the RS, the toe from his teammate. Lunacy's pace through that part of the track there is incredible. He gets so much grip, but can't quite make the most of it there. Rocky picks up a time penalty down the field, so that won't play an important role in the top few positions. So we'll leave that for now. Lunacy squirreling around, he's really pushing hard. Macedonian's still keeping within 1.2 of Artie, so Macedonian's still in position to win the race. The Suscast is wide. Lunacy's going to have a good run here. Can he make a move through here?
He's on the brakes.
Suscast moves on to braking. That's a bit questionable, but he's managed to hang on for now, so we have to keep on racing. Mofo too far back really to threaten as well, so Lunacy with all the pace, but can he use it?
Shot here. He's got a good run. Sure they're equal on penalties.
No, Suscast picked up another one, so I think Lunacy has the advantage anyway, but Lunacy may be able to get Artie as someone's round at the back. Ashima Tata's round.
Ashima Tata gone.
So he's now going to be right down towards the back, and that chance of the top 5 is gone. But what can Lunacy do?
Really close. ASAP Rocky's weaving over the road.
Oh, Mofo's gone around the outside Lunacy. Lunacy's diving. Suscast off camera here. They're almost 3 wide, and Mofo's going to try and squeeze through. Suscast on the outside. Who's going to get it?
It's going to be.
Lunacy gets it. But look at those gaps there. Dan the Racer gets P2. Oh my goodness. From absolutely nowhere. Dan the Racer being clean on penalties. He's going to jump 3 or 4 cars there.
Wow. So
Macedonian will win the race on the penalties. Dan the Racer will jump into P2 for racing points. So P2 and P3 for racing point. And everyone's too close for me to really read through the rest of it. But what a crazy ending to the race. Lunacy was giving it absolutely everything, but Mofo threw the nose in there at the end and yeah, really tried to make a difference. But Dan the Racer will pick up driver of the day as well. Probably well deserving for keeping it clean and managing to get onto the podium. But Macedonian will take the win after somewhat questionable strategy on the hard tyres, but keeping it clean is what made it count. Artie Changs will drop to P3 on the penalties, and Dan the Racer also keeping it clean. So that's your podium. Lunacy and Mofo P4 and 5 by less than half a tenth each. So we saw those guys pretty much 3 wide in the final corner, but Lunacy just managed to hang on there ahead of Mofo. They didn't have time to look at the rest of the grid, but what a crazy finish.
Great constructor points from for Racing Point there.
Twice in a row there, yeah.
Macedonian, was he in the lead of the championship?
Yep, so he was in the lead by 6 points on Mofo.
His lead.
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
So good win there.
Hats off to Macedonian and Dan the Racer for keeping it clean the entire 22 laps.
Dan the Racer from 15th. Look at that. That is incredible. That's definitely worthy of drive of the day. So BMAC picks up the fastest lap, but DNFing means he won't get the point, as well as being out of the top 10. But yeah, Macedonian, Dan the Racer, Artie Chang's on the podium. Lunacy and Mofo absolutely sent it at the end. Look at those gaps behind. They were close. Honest Cook, also from 16th into P6 is a good result. Suscast, with the penalties, he's dropped. That last penalty was critical. That's lost him a couple of positions. PY ends up with points. Ashima Tata getting himself in a bit of trouble there, possibly cost him a P. Actually, that probably might have cost him P4. And then Insulate will pick up the final point. We had F1 Boy, ASAP Rocky, Nickman, BMAC, and I didn't quite scroll down for the rest of them. But that was an absolutely crazy end to the race. yeah, that was heart and mouth stuff for a lot of the time there. Not just in the last two laps, last kind of 6 or 7 there. But yeah, that's a race, isn't it? That's a race and a half. You catch your breath after that.
I mean, another really entertaining race from Tier 4. This tier is just fantastic. Keeps producing every week. Honestly, can't predict it until the last lap. So, yeah, great stuff from everyone in Tier 4 today. Thank you for everyone as well who tuned in. Another great race to watch. I reckon this one is probably more entertaining than possibly Tier 1, Tier 2, but yeah.
Yeah, Tier 4 is the place to be. These guys always put on the show, and there are genuinely 10 guys who can get podiums on pace in this tier, so it's fantastic to see there. But yeah, another round for Tier 4. 8 rounds left. So I think I think it's Italy next week, so that'll be another interesting race. Very fast paced, lots of DRS, lots of troublesome corners there as well, so that'll be a good challenge for the drivers. So make sure to tune into that next week, same time, same place here on the Race Spec YouTube channel. If you'd like to see their previous races, make sure to hit up the channel as well, because they're all on there. Tri-Kid and myself will be there next week to walk us through the race. I'm looking forward to it. These guys always put on a show. But we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Congratulations again to those top 3 especially, but to the whole field for putting on a show as always. And make sure to go check out Race Spec and everything else they have to offer. Thank you so much and have a great evening. Catch you later.
See you, viewers.